Hello and welcome back. Higher Maths, Functions and Graphs, the inverse function. So just a couple of exam questions. So this is actually the last part of an exam question. So given that f of 2 equals 7, find the inverse function of 7. Well, whatever we've done to 2, we've ended up with 7. So we don't know exactly what we've done to 2. It might be something as simple as adding 5, doubling it and adding 3, multiplying it by 100 and subtracting 193, squaring it and adding 3, cubing it and subtracting 1. We don't know, we don't need to know, because what we do know is that if you do the inverse function, it will undo whatever you've done from the original function. So the inverse function of 7 would equal 2, because that would just get us back to where we started from. That's what the inverse function does. It returns us to our starting point, which was having x equals 2. So if f of 2 is 7, then the inverse f of 7 equals 2, because the inverse function just undoes what we have done. Right, question number 4. So this is a more standard exam question. So we're given f, g, and h. Find a formula for k of x, where k of x equals f of g of x. So a little bit of composite function practice here. So f of g, so we replace g of x with 3 minus 2x, is f of 3 minus 2x. Next step, remember, whatever's in this bracket, we're going to substitute in for x in f of x. So 2x minus 1 becomes 2 times whatever's in that bracket, 2 times 3 minus 2x minus 1. Expand the bracket, minus 1, so we end up with 5 minus 4x. B, find a formula for h of k of x. So remember, guys, this is k of x. So h of k will be h of 5 minus 4x. What's the rule for h? It's 1/4 of 5 minus x. So whatever's in that bracket, so that 5 minus 4x is going to go in here. Right, got a great chance to make a small mistake here. We are subtracting everything in this bracket. We are subtracting 5 minus 4x. So we need to put all of that in a bracket. We're not just subtracting the 5, we're also subtracting the minus 4x term. So 5 minus, in a bracket, 5 minus 4x. So 5 minus 5, and then 5 minus the minus 4x would become a plus 4x. So 5 minus 5, 0. And then we're going to have 1/4 of 4x, which is just x. So hopefully what we're all thinking is, well, there was something about inverse functions if we end up with a value of x at the end. So for part C, what is the connection between the functions h and k? Well, because h of k of x equals x, that means h is the inverse of k, as h of k of x equals x. So part C, that'll just be a 1 marker. We don't need to do any working for it. It is literally understanding that h of k of x equals x if h is the inverse of k.